Hello everyone, it's me Nick Gaming 2174 here again with another video. Today I'm bringing you all the third official preview to my Hunger Games map that I've been building. So as you all have, or as some of you may know, I've been working on the Hunger Games map for over last 4 years, and this is it. So quite a lot has changed, and I'll get down to the new changes. But first, I'll go ahead and explain, like, if you haven't seen the first two previews, I'll go ahead and explain, like, what this is. So, this is gonna be a Hunger Games map. And for those that don't know what that is, Hunger Games, it's basically, it's another way of saying survival games where it works by multiple people compete and try to see who the last remaining person will be. Whoever that is, they win the games. And so this is what the map is going to be. But yeah, so not much has really changed on my island. I mean, except for maybe a thing or two, but that's it. Like, I added this apartment building, but that's not a build of my own. It actually belongs to another YouTuber. Links in the description if you want to see the tutorial for building that. I will say, you guys, some of the stuff here is not of my own. Like, the problem is, I can't really brainstorm ideas, like builds of my own enough, so I kind of look at some tutorial videos to see how to build some stuff, and then I make it here in the map. And I also built this steampunk airship, which that's one thing that's not of my own. Links in the description if you want to see how to build that. But yeah, as you see here, this is Mitch's island, and it's changed quite a lot. It's about 45 to 50% done. As you can see, I've added trees going all along the edge and a giant one right here. And then I added like a little river there. But yeah, there's also a red island over there, but I don't want to spoil who's going to own that, 'cause it's going to be a surprise. And so yeah, the things that are new on Mitch's Island is, as I've said, I added the trees going along there and some structures. But I added some more houses, and that's an ice cream shop over there. You guys may be wondering why I built that. It's just, I just felt like that. I mean, now that's one idea that's my own. So that's one thing that's my own. And then I built this little, tower. And you guys maybe have noticed, this brick here, this orange brick, that's a resin brick, it's called. I think it's actually new for the most recent update. I don't know, because I was looking through some bricks and I found that and I didn't recognize it. But yeah, this ice cream shop here, I named it Cherry on Top Ice Cream. I just couldn't think of a name better. And then I also built this little fountain, as you can see here. Also over here is the start of a tower that I'm going to build. And as you see, where this glowstone is, this is where water is going to be. That's probably going to be the worst part about building this, because as you can see, I've barely done any of the water going along, because I'm heavily focused on getting the islands done. Here's Jason's island, and you guys may notice that it's actually bigger again. That's because I decided to expand it just a little bit more, although not by much. And as you see, here's the train station he built. I showed this in my more or less finished video, but then you may notice that there's now more track there, so now the track is no longer floating. And you may wonder what the break is. Well, that's because these are going to be on, that's going over the water, because obviously the track can't just be floating. That looks super unrealistic. But yeah, here are the trains he built, as you can see. And then I built this one over here. This is a Union Pacific diesel train. This is kind of, but kind of not a build of my own, because I had to look at a video to see how to build this. And I will say this, Jason is the one who's better at replicating stuff in real life than I am. So that's why I had to use a video to look at that. I'll show the inside of this station if you all are curious, because he did a really good job with this. I mean, it literally feels like I'm in a real station. Oh. And then you go out this way to the trains. And as you see, there's a yellow island over there. I don't really want to spoil with that. Who's going to own that just yet. But yeah, as you can see, I've done like nothing on it. But yeah, the trains are going over this island too. And then I also built a small ship. That's not a build of my own. That belongs to another. Or, I mean, it's not so much it belongs, but it was built by another YouTuber. And then I built this squid here. This is a build of my own. And as you see, he's wearing a top hat and he's poking out the water. And you guys may be questioning why I built this squid. Well, it's because I wanted to utilize the water a little bit more. And so I felt like building a squid here. And then you may be wondering why I added the top hat. That's because I wanted to add, I call it secondary detail. You guys may be questioning what that is, secondary detail. It's basically more detail that adds more appeal to the build you're doing. So like, I'll tell you all how it works. So basically, the primary detail is the squid itself, and then secondary detail can be anything else or is everything else. Like these little cyan and light blue bits, the top hat, and that kind of stuff. However, I'm kind of cautious about secondary detail because, and you guys may be wondering why that is. That's because when I add secondary detail, I try to make it so that it adds to the primary build. Or else, if it doesn't, then it's best to just leave those details out. What else is there? Oh, this helicopter up here. This is also not built of my own. This is this I watched from a tutorial, but yeah, as you can see, there's a little inside here. And then there's parkour starting all the way down there, leading up to here. I'm trying to, what else is new? Not much else is new. I mean, I did work on Jason's Island too, just a little bit. The only thing that's really different are just some more trees I added. And like structures. Is there anything else? Trying to recall what's new, but I can't really recall anything that's new. No, that building's the same. That has not changed at all. This is kind of but kind of not new. I changed the detail of the car here, so now it's actually more rounded, as you can see. And Jason's snow cruiser hasn't changed either. Neither has the train here that he built. But something I did do is when he built these, he did build these cars, but I added a little bit of secondary detail here, like some red stripes like that, and then dark oak on these coaches, like where the oak plank is. So, Jason, if you're seeing this, if you don't like that, then I can just revert the stuff back to how it was before. But I did that because I think it adds just a little bit more appeal. But yeah, as I said, if you're doing secondary detail, it has to fit in with the primary detail. Or else it won't make much sense. And it would be better to just leave those details out if it doesn't work. But another thing too that's hard is when I build this stuff, I make sure it looks how it does in real life. And same with Jason. You may be questioning why that is. Well, the thing is, I did explain this in my previous video, more or less finished. But I'll explain again for those curious. That's because building stuff how it would look in Minecraft instantly looks too unappealing. So that's why all this stuff looks how it would in real life. Well, the squid here really doesn't look much how it would in real life, but everything else, like the trains, the helicopter, and the the dolphin there, and just a few other things y'all are seeing. And I call that solid build, meaning like you replicate how it would look in the game, not in real life. I also apply that same rule to like trees here. So when I build the trees, something I avoid doing is called edging, or I call it edging. I'll show you all how I define that. The way I define edging is like this. So where these you see here, this little like corner here, as you can see, if I were to have built a tree here, it would make it look like the two trees are attached. So that's why I avoid making it look like the edges touch each other, because they make it look like it's one tree, not separate. But yeah, this is all I have to really say about what's new. I know it's been a little while, but yeah, I'll say now, development progress is now early to mid. We're not quite in late development yet. I mean, I think once get like it, because there's going to be 2 more islands, haven't decided who's going to own them just yet. But once we get those done, then we'll be in the mid range of development. But yeah, so we're now in the early to mid development, no longer early, or just early, how you want to say it. So yeah, that's all I have to show about this preview. So if you did enjoy this video, leave a like. As always, feel free to subscribe. So bye for now.